Hey guys, what's up? So today I will be teaching you guys on how to be an extra in movies and TV shows. So I currently live in Atlanta, Georgia right now, and tons of movies and TV shows are being filmed here. But this isn't just for Atlanta people, this is for wherever there's filming around. So what I say in this video definitely will go anywhere. And for people who don't know what an extra is, it's basically the people in the movie and TV that surround the actors that do not say anything at all. It's basically just the actors talking in like the whole movie and nobody else, if you notice. Well, I'm sure you do. So I will teach you guys how to be an extra and the real experience of being on set. No fake BS. The real stuff on what goes down on set. Stuff that crew members and if you talk to actors, so stuff that they might not even know. Because there are tons of actors who start off with, getting roles and have never done extra work, so they don't know what it's like. But I've had almost 2.5 years of extra experience, so trust me, I've seen. And so I've actually been seen just a few times really well in 2 movies, The Duff and Alvin the Chipmunks 4. I don't know why there's a 4, but there was, and who knows, there's most likely going to be a 5. But the reason why I'm going to show you guys those 2 clips of me in it is because those are the best ones that you can fully see me in. I've been in tons and tons of other stuff, but just as a blur, so there's really no point in you seeing a blur. But here's the clips of me being in The Duff and Alvin and the Chipmunks.
It didn't matter what group you were in, it was unavoidable.
Ooh, that's...
Hi, Suggs! Thank you, Mr. Trombone! This calls for a celebration!
See that it's not really that much, but hey, it's always cool seeing yourself in, the big screen. So, for starters, here is how you get into extra work. Number 1, what you want to do is just Google it. That's the most important thing, is Google, how to be an extra. Or, depending on where you are, say you're in LA, Google extra work in LA. Honestly, that's exactly what I did when I wanted to start off, because I didn't know how to get into it. I didn't know anybody who was an extra. So basically what I did is just Google Atlanta extra work, and eventually I found this site called Project Casting, which led me to see, the stuff that's currently filming in Atlanta. And it ironically happened to be the movie The Duff. And so the scene that you just saw of me in The Duff was my first ever day of extra work, so I got pretty lucky being that scene for knowing nothing my first day ever. So that's pretty cool. And once you do that, you go ahead, and most extra casting companies, basically you can find them all on Facebook, and that's how I find mine, is just searching through Facebook. And once you do that, you have options on Facebook where you can see certain posts first, and that's exactly what I did. Went to all the casting companies for extra work, clicked, this, I want to see this first. And then every time I logged on Facebook, I'd see, oh, this is filming, this is filming, this is filming. And I get to see it all first before anything, and then you go and submit. So basically, when you're submitting, you just want to have 3 basic pictures of yourself. So just any kind of poses that you have, just basic of just your face, and then a full body shot of yourself. And those are the only 3 pictures. They don't even have to be professional. You can do it on your cell phone. I have personal headshots, and I also just took my iPhone and used that, so that's also another option. And then you basically send your name, age, height, weight, And sometimes, depending on, what they're looking for, clothing sizes, because, they'll put you in costume, which is when you would drive to their production office, try on some outfits, and then you're good to go. But here's the thing that you have to know about extra work is a lot of it, like when you're actually gonna like start it, they usually will post something for the very next day. Like, next day, we need you. That's how quick they do it. Sometimes they will, give you maybe even a couple days. It'd be like a Monday and be like, hey, we need people Thursday and Friday, or Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then sometimes for bigger stuff, they'll even, they'll give you maybe like, I think at most, maybe like a week's notice. Sometimes two, but for the most of the parts, be like, hey, we'll say maybe around we'll say on 3 p.m. on a Monday, and then be like, hey, we need people, for whatever's filming to be here tomorrow, Tuesday at 6 a.m. So it's basically like the next day. And yeah, that's honestly how you get into extra work. That's the beginning. And now for the really fun part is, what is it like being an extra? Pretty much it's a whole lot of nothing, really. You're not really doing much. Once you're not needed on set, you're in a place that they call holding, where you're literally just sitting in a room or a tent or wherever you're filming. You're just sitting there and literally doing nothing. That's right, nothing. You're basically just sitting there talking to your friends, playing on your phone, and sleeping, or you can, do laptop work for, school or whatever. But you're literally just sitting down. That's like half the time you're on set. So in reality, you're getting paid to do nothing, which is honestly the greatest thing ever. But speaking of pay, for me, I can only speak of what you get in Atlanta. And because we have tons of tax deductions, all these movies and TV shows are being filmed here because of that. So you're really only getting paid minimum wage, $8 an hour. But there are some sets where you can get some really, really good hours. Like, if you're on set, basically you have to give up your entire day. Your entire day. So if you think you can go to set and then you got plans for other stuff later, forget about it, because that's probably not even gonna happen. So basically, a day on set is a minimum, keeping it realistic, 8 to 12 hours. Sometimes it can even be longer. Like, the longest day I've ever had on set is 18 hours. Yeah, 18 hours. And honestly, it was a long day, but the checks come in really, really nice. And how pay works is basically, you get paid guaranteed. For us in Atlanta, it's 64/8. Can't speak for anywhere else because I don't know about them, but for Atlanta, it's $64 for 8 hours. And then once you get over 8 hours, it basically doubles. So that works out. And you receive a check in the mail probably 2 weeks later for your pay, and you get all these forms when you first show up. Really important, when you first show up, you get your W-2 forms. You can decide what type of money you want to keep, and you got to fill out this pretty decent sized packet of all the tax forms and stuff like that. And then when you're done, the next time you come back to that movie or TV show, you only fill out this super small portion, and then that's it, because you're on file. But it always changes every set you go to. So every set you go to for the first time, that's when you got to fill out all the information again, always. And then basically when you're just chilling on set, like in Holding, they have this thing called Crafty, which is like a snack table where you got some like snacks and drinks that you can eat and, you know, just chill out with while you're sitting and Holding, waiting to go back to set. So now here comes even more real information. When you're doing extra work, you do get fed there. You get like, depending on the hours, you get like one meal like when you get there, and then you eat like 6 hours later, and then rarely you get like three meals, which has only happened to me in my 2.5 years of extra work twice. That's when you work like 17 plus hours, which isn't really impossible, because if anybody has seen the show Orange is the New Black, in season 4, that season 4 basically like finale episode when unfortunately like the character Pusey dies, they were shooting that whole thing for 22 hours. So yeah, that can go for a while. But back to the two different groups on set. You got your extras and then your crew members. So here is definitely what nobody will tell you as an extra, is that when you're there, the food you get, I mean, it looks good, but it's honestly really just okay food. Sometimes it can actually be pretty good, but here's the thing though. The food is basically kind of like buffet style, so you got like all your stuff lined up of, you know, different foods. But here's the thing though, it's there's extra work, there's extra food where you get it, you know, your little buffet style, it's okay. But let me tell you about this. Crew food. Crew food is honestly the greatest thing ever. No exaggeration. I mean, if your crew members seeing this, you're like, it's okay. That's because you're used to it and that's what you expect to get. But crew food is the greatest thing ever. Like, you'll have, like, outside where, you know, it's just for crew only, they will have gourmet food, they have tons of desserts. I mean, in Atlanta they have like fish, lobster, salmon, swordfish, incredible food. And then their breakfast is just huger than ever. Their Crafty has literally every snack and every drink you could think of, just completely massive. But all of that stuff is completely unavailable to you as an extra. So if you ever dreamed of wanting that, you're out of luck, because they get super pissed when you're over there with their food. But on occasions, which has happened, where sets are really small, like less than like 15 people, then they let you get crew food, and it is freaking amazing. But other than that, you can just forget about it. But life on set is actually pretty fun. I mean, you get long hours, and then when you get there and you start meeting people, you realize that everybody on set you'll see on another set, like something else. So you might see them on every other thing, or you might even see them on the next thing. But honestly, the best thing I love about set is being on there with your friends, because you're just sitting there for like 8 to 10 hours, you're chilling out, you're playing games, and you're laughing, stuff like that, and just having a good time. So it can't get any better than that. So thank you guys so much for making it to the end of this video, and I hope it was really helpful for you. And if you have any other questions, you know, you can leave comments down below, or you can ask me on Twitter and can give you everything I got. So that is how you be an extra in movies and TV shows, and hopefully you guys can see yourselves on the big screen too. Bye.